Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. Today's video is financial position part 2, focusing on assets. Before we discuss that, I just want to highlight some of the problems that many people face, in particular on assets. Many people have got difficulties in understanding what an asset entail, and the forms that an asset can take, as well as the difficulties in determining the categories of assets, and the criteria that is used to categorize assets. Again, many people have got a challenge in understanding the order in which assets are listed on the statement of financial position. All these problems will go away if you happen to face them if you watch this video up until the end, because I'm going to deal with each of these problems in the video. So make sure you watch the whole video so that you can be able to clear those challenges. If you are visiting this channel for the first time, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel. For those who have already subscribed, thank you so much for the support to the channel, and also you should do react to the video through commenting or liking the video, so that we can be able to gauge whether the videos are having any impact to you. So I think we can now turn on to our business of the day. What is an asset? An asset is a resource controlled by an entity as a result of past events, and from which future economic benefits are expected to flow to an entity. So if you happen to face a challenge in defining an asset, that's the simple definition of an asset. What forms can an asset take? You will find that assets come in two different forms. It can take the form of a physical form or an intangible form. As regards the physical form, this can be determined by the use of our five senses. So you can actually feel an asset by touching it, if it have got a physical form. But this cannot also be the case with the intangible assets. That is, those assets that have got an intangible form. You cannot use your one of your five senses to determine it. Then some of you may be wondering as to what is meant by future economic benefits. Future economic benefits is simply referring to the asset's ability to directly or indirectly provide an inflow of cash or cash equivalents. So that's what is referred to as a future economic benefit. Assets and the categories. I have indicated in the introduction that some individuals or some people have got difficulties in categorizing assets. the assets are categorized into two broad groups, namely current assets and non-current assets. Having stated the categories into which assets are grouped, I now discuss non-current assets. But before defining what a non-current asset is, we are supposed to understand the factors or the factor that is used to determine whether an asset is current or non-current asset. What factor is used to determine so? I think the categorization of an asset into current or non-current depends on the permanence of the asset. So I now turn to the definition of a non-current asset. What is a non-current asset? A non-current asset is an asset that is permanent in nature and is vital for the in the process of earning income of the entity. So in other words, I am saying non-current assets are normally used in the production of income by an entity. After having discussed the factor that is used to determine assets, either into current or non-current, I now turn to the criteria that is used to classify an asset as a non-current asset. The first criteria is that the asset is not acquired for the purpose of resale, or the asset is to be used in the business. Like I have indicated, that the non-current asset is vital for the production of income. Also, the non-current asset have got a lifespan of more than 1 year. So that's the non-current asset for you. Some of you may be having difficulties in giving examples of non-current assets. I think it's very simple for you, as have been indicated, that what determines whether an asset is current or non-current is the permanence of the assets, and we have indicated that non-current assets are permanent in nature. So from the examples that are shown on this diagram, you can see that the assets that are included there are examples of assets that show the quality of permanence. So you look at your land and buildings, normally they are permanent in nature, no doubt about it. We also look at vehicles. They are normally permanent in nature, and whenever a business buys a vehicle, it normally wants to use it in the production of income for a number of years. You also look at furniture and equipment. You notice that in various companies, furniture normally takes some years to be replaced, because it is durable, and it can take some years to wear and tear. You also notice that financial assets normally also take the form of a permanence character, in the sense that some of the financial assets may take the form of investments in securities and shares, and one might need to hold them for a number of years. Hence, the categorization as a permanent asset. So that's the examples of non-current assets that I have listed. You may also have more into these categories. For the list that I have provided is not exhaustive. Having discussed non-current assets and also the categories and the criteria used to categorize current assets into non-current assets, I now turn into, or I now discuss current assets. What are current assets? Current asset simply refer to an asset that have got a short lifespan, and it continually change in the normal course of business. So what is the criteria used to categorize an asset as a current asset? An asset is a current asset if it is expected to be realized or intended to be sold or consumed in the entity's normal operating cycle. Again, an asset can be a current asset if it is held mainly for the purpose of being traded. Then it is also a current asset if it is expected to be realized within a year after the reporting period or after the financial year. And it is also a current asset if it is cash or cash equivalent. So that's the current asset for you. I now turn to the examples of current assets. Some of you may be wondering as to which assets can be included in the category of current assets. It's very simple. Examples of current assets include, among other things, trade and other receivables, inventories, bills receivable, cash at bank, or what is referred to as cash and cash equivalent. Maybe I might need to shed some light on some of these current assets, like the one labeled as trade and other receivables. This is normally referred to as debtors. These are assets that come about as a result of someone being given resources by an entity and a promise to pay back. We call them debtors. Then inventory is another term for stocks. So basically, these are the examples of current asset. From here, I now discuss the order in which assets are listed on the statement of financial position, which used to be referred to as the balance sheet. Listing of assets on the statement of financial position. In what order are the assets to be listed on the statement of financial position? I think this question is very simple. Assets are listed on the statement of financial position once again following the the permanence nature of the assets. So you find that non-current assets are permanent in nature. So as such, there is need to follow a specific order when listing them. We start with the more permanent assets, and then less permanent assets are listed below the permanent ones, the more permanent ones. So in this sense, it means that non-current assets, since we have indicated in our discussion that non-current assets are permanent in nature, these are supposed to be shown first, followed by current assets, because current assets are not in nature. So there you are. That's the discussion about assets. Let me know your views by reacting to discussion through your comments, or your reaction by either clicking like on the video, and also encourage you to subscribe to the channel, and also encouraging your friends to also view the videos, and also subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for watching the video.